Morning everyone, it's an early start for me today. It was up at 4. I had to get out of bed early. I cried a bit when I got up, but I did it in the end. And I'm off to Portsmouth. I'm not far away now. I left in the absolute lagging it down with rain up in Oldham, and it's absolutely gorgeous down here. And even at this time of the morning, the temperature's at 23. So obviously you guys are down south get better weather than us poor souls up there. But it's an interesting job because I'm going to the Royal Navy Yard in Portsmouth. I'm taking some ADR stuff. It's actually submarine escape kits with a couple of emergency life rafts as well. And it's classed as ADR because they do obviously contain chemicals to help the things inflate, and they also have a lot of lithium batteries in these things. So because of that, it's ADR rate, and it is a generous price. Although I will say that there was a bit of haggling to get this price, and that is the thing that I'd like to discuss. So we'll get here, get the delivery done, and maybe we can talk about it later. So as you can hopefully see by the photograph, delivery is successfully done. And the day has turned into a brilliant day because this will now be my biggest ever earning day on the Courier Exchange. I'm just pulled over on the A34 at the moment, just having a bit of a break because I've done some serious driving. So I'm just having a coffee and a sandwich, and then I'll be carrying on. I dropped off in Portsmouth. My intention was to have a bit of a wander around and maybe even go and visit HMS Victory because it's something I've always fancied seeing. But a job pops up from Southampton to Preston. Well, I'm not going to not bid on that, am I? So I've bid on it. I've got the job, and it was from the SO facility, big place in Southampton, and it's going up to Bamber Bridge in Preston. So with the money I got from coming down for the ADR job, which was large money, well, you know, by my standards, maybe not by Richard Branson's, and the money I get from going back up, this will be the biggest ever day that I've earned on the Courier Exchange. It's a shame they can't always be like that, isn't it? So I'm going to give you an update on what happened with the van. As you know, in the last video, it turns out that the garage had, well, allegedly not fitted the oil filter correctly. And I was on the phone to the place yesterday. I've sent them by email the report that the RAC sent, backing me up. And they have agreed to reimburse me the costs of my wasted fuel and of the money I've paid to the RAC. They did offer to do a free service, but I've now elected that I won't be using them again for obvious reasons. I've decided not to name them because I'm a little bit concerned that if I name them, that they might try and do me for slander, because it's difficult to fully prove they didn't do it, although they have paid me without prejudice. So I'm taking the money and I'm not using them again. And of course, I'll be using someone else. So the reason why I wanted to chat is because I'm shamelessly copying things that other members have recently said about pricing. I've watched quite a lot of videos of the other Courier Exchange YouTubers have put on, and everybody recently has been talking about pricing. And I'm using the example of the job today that I'd done. Yesterday, this ADR job came up. It popped up quite a few times. I was at Manchester Airport Cargo Terminal when I first put a bid in for it. Didn't get it. The job came back as cancelled. Carried on, did a couple of local jobs around Manchester. I'd already had a good day. I wasn't moaning anyway because I'd been to Wales, got a job back from Wales, North Wales that is. And I was passionate about doing some local work, and the day was a decent day. Then this job came up again, and what the job was basically was collecting from Ellesmere Port and then delivering into Portsmouth, the Royal Naval Depot, by 9 a.m. So of course I would pick it up, go home, and go out early in the morning. And the other option was pick it up, drive down to Portsmouth, stay overnight, deliver in the morning. But you know, much rather be in my own bed. However, I quoted on this job at least 3 times, and every time the price that I put, which was basically ADR rate, which it's no secret, I charged £2 a mile. My previous employer used to charge £2.50 a mile. So £2.50 a mile he charged. I charged £2, which I think is the standard rate you should be charging, bearing in mind what you are carrying. And also, I wanted the money to cover the cost of my fuel to go to the Wirral and collect it and go home. So I'm not charging per mile, I just wanted £40 for that. So that was my price. Yeah, a lot of money, I agree, but you know, what you're carrying dictates the price as far as I'm concerned. It's 250 miles, so you do the maths. Anyway, it just kept getting cancelled and cancelled. In the end, I gave up on it. I cancelled my latest quote and buggered off. And then I got a phone call from the shippers saying, yeah, that quote you gave, is there anything we can do about that price? And quite frankly, I just simply said, yeah, you can pay it and I'll do it. Or don't pay it and I won't do it. I'm not bothered. And they give me the job. And I did actually have a little bit of a moan at them to say, look, if you have any idea what we have to carry when we do ADR, you know, and you're expecting us to do a price for what is close to, say, a long wheelbase van rate, that it's not right. We pay a lot of money to get the ADR license, we have the training to get it, and then we're carrying goods that are dangerous. So you shouldn't expect at all that we should do it at a discounted rate. Now, I've heard examples of people charging £1 a mile to do ADR, and if you're doing that, you ought to give your head a real good wobble. You know what you're carrying. You know what you went through to get your license. Why would you even do that? Why would you let them rip you off like that and pay you £1 a mile? It's utterly stupid. Give your head a wobble. So I've seen videos from other guys, and I'll name the guys who've been putting some price type videos out recently. So you got Freddie Fletcher, and he did an interesting video about what he expects to pay when he posts jobs, and did what he pays out, does that look realistic? Pete the Courier has just put a new one out about what the up-to-date prices should be, and I saw a video from First Class Transport. Now, I don't agree with everything that the guy who does First Class Transport says, but what he did say in this video that I saw rung true. It's about shippers and drivers. The CX is a platform that shippers put work on that they need clearing, and that drivers get work from because they want to do the work. And so the CX is merely a platform. The shippers, they're not gods, and he's right, he said they're not gods. They need us just as much as we need them. If we're not there to cover that work, then they're up shit creek. So they need us. So don't let them take the piss out of you. When you price something, price it so you're actually going to make some money. I'm not talking about ripping people off. I'm talking about stop going so stupidly low that you can't possibly be making any money. Don't bid for something because you're just desperate to get the job. Other jobs will come along. I have a set policy now, and I just don't go below it. Simple as that. And if everybody kind of sticks to the formula, the shippers won't have any choice but to pay the rate. Some of those shippers out there will gladly pay a price that is obviously a loss maker for the driver. They don't give a shiny shite. They're not all like that. But if they see someone, let's say £100 small van job, I personally don't believe that you should be quoting less than £1 a mile nowadays on a small van. But some people will bid £50 a mile to get the job, and it's £50. Why? you're going to get jack out of it. You're going to get nothing out of it. The amount of time it takes to do a £100 job at 50 pence a mile, how can you possibly be making much money out of that? You should be quoting, in my opinion, £1 a mile minimum. That's where it should start. You should have a minimum price, and then it should go up in increments. So if you've got a small van, a minimum of £1 a mile, and if it's going into late at the night, you should be charging more for it. You should be charging for antisocial time. If you've got a medium wheelbase van, why would you work it for less than at least £1.10, £1.15 a mile? If you've got a long wheelbase van, I price it £1.25 a mile. I won't take less than £1.10 a mile, but I price it £1.25 a mile, and I get work from that. And then obviously if you've got the extra long wheelbase and the Lutons, which are more specialised vehicles, again, it should be higher than that. So if you're doing an ADR job, hazardous goods, why would you go lower? Why would you go lower than them normal rates there? And these companies, at the end of the day, they're out to make money. Are you telling me that they're charging, what, less than £1.50 a mile? And they're not putting fuel surcharges on? And if you've got jobs that go into late at night, why wouldn't you want more money for that? If you're working an antisocial hour, why would you not want more money for it? And if more people price it appropriately, then it gives the shippers less chance to get it down. And they can charge their customers more. People want something for nothing. But you're in this job to earn a living. You're in this job to make some money, to feed your families, to run your vehicle, to pay your insurance. It costs an awful lot of money to be a courier. People don't realise that. The fuel is expensive, your insurance is expensive. You're waiting for your money. Because there's another thing, you're charging a low price per mile and giving them free credit. They're getting like 30, 60, 45 days before you actually get the money. You don't get any interest on that, do you? Now, I know that's the industry standard and that's how it works. But in my opinion, you shouldn't be selling yourself short. And the more people who don't do that, the better it will be. The better the industry will be for everybody. We need them, they need us. They're not gods. If nobody bids on a job, what do? How do they clear it? So think about it and just bid at a better price for yourselves. I do. And you know what? I might put 12 bids in. I'll get one sometimes, but I'll put loads of bids in. And someone there will give me the job because they need it clearing. And my bids are at those kind of prices I said before. Yeah. Now, there's guys been on air years. There's guys, but, oh, well, that's the going rate. That's all they go. No, it's not the going rate. The going rate is what we dictate as well. It's not just what the shippers dictate. If customers need things moving, then they have to pay the appropriate price. So the shippers need to charge them appropriately. And if they want us to do it, they need to pay us appropriately as well. On the same hand, we need to make sure that we do a good job for the shippers. You present yourself well, you do a good job, you don't co-load unless you've got permission. You have all the necessary equipment, you take good care of their goods and be prompt and efficient. That's standard, you should do that anyway. But I do see, I've been to a few jobs where it's a 2-van job and I've been one of them, and the other one, to be honest with you, has been a bit of a bonehead. Van looks a bit crap. Now, people can't all afford new vans, but you can keep it tidy. No equipment, no straps, not dressed appropriately, no PPE. Well, you're just giving everybody a bad name when you do that. And it doesn't take much to be professional in this job, really, does it? Just present yourself right. So that was my rant. But since everybody else has mentioned about prices, I want to reinforce: stick to your guns and get a price that's going to earn you a living, not an existence. That's what's important for everybody. Sure, then we can all work together, shippers and drivers, can't we? But again, remember, they need us just as much as we need them. So, rant's over. Good news about my van, it is running well. I have been absolutely paranoid about checking the oil. It's had more oil checks than a Formula 1 car. but it's not losing. There's no funny noises, there's no funny smells. So thankfully for that. So everybody, please take care. Please like it and subscribe it. I'd be grateful. Still trying to get me numbers up. And I'll catch you in the next video.